Okay, so without, I see our Saudi Arabian friends are joining us now. So let's get started. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz. I'm the chairman of World Tourism Network, and I'm joining you from beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. It's morning time here. I know it's evening time in Saudi Arabia, and thank you for everyone being part of this group. I wanted to recognize, before we get the Saudi group in, I'm very honored to have the Honorable Najib Balala, Minister of Tourism for Kenya, joining us this morning or this evening. Welcome. Also very honored to have Dr. Taleb Rifai, and you know has been one of our he has been our co-chair ever since we started the organization, joining us as well. And also finally recognizing Dr. Peter Tarlow, a co-founder of the World Tourism Network. And there's so many more, so I don't want to just start recognizing everyone. We're going to sit here, but we're going to have plenty of opportunities to talk to each other and enjoy this event. Just for those that don't know World Tourism Network, our organization was started in December, and it came out of the rebuilding travel discussion that has been ongoing, unorganized, since March of 2020 when COVID broke out. We're very pleased to say that World Tourism Network now has members in 128 countries. We just added Tajikistan to our list. And we have close to about 1,700 members, tourism professionals, both from the public and private sector. World Tourism Network is also very happy to have our Heroes program. That is our recognition and reward program. And I see a few of the heroes like Marikar, like the Honorable Minister Balala, Walter, and several others on our group here. Now, without further ado, we're going to have an exciting event, and I'm very pleased to introduce Blanca. Blanca is going to be our co-host today. She's going to take it from here. She's joining us from Florida, and we're very happy to have you on board and take over from here. Good morning, Blanca. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jürgen. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing this afternoon? It's a pleasure to see everyone this afternoon. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to celebrate the 2030 Saudi Arabia vision for the future. And we have some incredible, obviously incredible guests today, incredible panelists. But first and foremost, we're going to welcome, has our guest of honor arrived yet, Jürgen?
I am not 100% sure, but I see someone from Saudi is here. Maybe if you can identify yourself, Raid, if you manage to come in.
Just interrupt me, but it is my distinct honor and pleasure to be the host and the moderator today. I am the founder of the platform called Laws of Life, and you can learn more about me at lawsoflife.shop. I also host an international networking summit every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. And one of our special producers and co-hosts today, Mr. Raid Habis, who you'll be learning a lot about today. He really is the magic behind today's event. And I'll be introducing him formally shortly. He's one of the visionaries behind the vision of 2030 Saudi Arabia. And I think we're going to learn a lot about business opportunities in Saudi Arabia today, travel opportunities. There'll be an opportunity for Q&A. And obviously we have His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud, as our guest of honor. Right now, we're going to keep letting people into the room. We're going to get everyone settled in for the next 3 to 5 minutes. Then our agenda is going to be very exciting. We're going to listen to the Saudi Arabia anthem, the national anthem, and we're going to see some beautiful photographs of Saudi Arabia. We're also going to watch a 1-minute video about Saudi Arabia. And then, of course, you will be meeting a lot of different panelists. As we wait for everyone to get settled in, though, I want to get to know you in the audience, because anybody that knows me knows that I love interaction, and I want everyone to be a part of today's conversation. So the first thing I want to hear is, how are those fired up levels today? Are you ready for a good, exciting, interactive international meeting? You ready?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. So all right. So let's excellent.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So let's welcome some of our dignitary panelists and just say hello. We've got Dr. Peter Tarlow in the house. How are you, Dr. Tarlow?
Now I just unmuted.
Okay.
I'm great, and I'm really excited to be here today. I think we're all going to learn tremendous amounts. So thank you for recognizing me.
Absolutely. We obviously have Jürgen Steinmetz, the founder of this entire platform today. Let's give a round of applause for Jürgen. All right. We've also got Louis D'Amore with us. Is Mr. D'Amore arrived yet? Yes, he
Hello,
has.
Blanca. Great to be with you. Thank you.
And Louis's name, you know, your name means love in Italian, right?
That's it.
And you know what? Mr. D'Amore is one of our esteemed panelists, and he's the founder of the International Peace Institute. And he is really going to educate us a lot about the 2030 vision. So thank you for being with us. Buongiorno. We've got Dr. Talib Rafai with us. Would you like to say good morning, Dr. Rafai? Dr. Rafai may not be here yet. We also have Dr. Nadia Kerman. Dr. Nadia, are you here yet? We've got Julia Fuel. Julia, I think I saw you come into the meeting. Do you want to say good morning? Good afternoon?
Good evening, even. I've even had my dinner. How about that?
That's wonderful. And Julia, we're so excited to learn from you and hear all of your thoughts on the 2030. Julia is the founder and CEO of one of our sponsors, Online Travel Training and the Saudi Online Tourism Academy. We also have a guest speaker, Edith Bedoin. Edith, are you here yet? Okay, now at this time, the prince has entered the room. So royal protocol is, I'm going to introduce him immediately. His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud. Welcome, Your Highness. How are you this afternoon?
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Jürgen. Good morning, Blanca. And good afternoon to our friends, wherever you are. Good evening. I'm very happy to have all these great thought leaders joining our webinar on Saudi Arabia Vision 2030 for the tourism industry. So, as we said, we will have about 5 minutes for anybody who wants to take the mic, introduce before we officially start the inauguration of this webinar.
Absolutely. Raid.
Blanca, without interrupting you, but I think it's very important. I would really love to hear just a few words from the Honorable Najib Balala from Kenya, who's joining us. And that's a special treat. We shouldn't let him go. I know as a minister, he's very busy. So welcome, Honorable Balala.
Absolutely.
Hello, Mr. Your Excellency, Mr. Najib Balala. It's a great honor to have you join this webinar today. You are most welcome, Your Excellency, and I just informed His Royal Highness of your presence, and he will be with us in a few minutes.
Okay, I think Honorable Balala, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Jürgen and Blanca. And the representative from Saudi government. This is a great honor, and definitely Jürgen has been networking. Since the pandemic started, he has been active, making us on our toes to come with solutions and to come out from this gloomy and sad situation where the sector cannot do with, because the tourism industry is about interaction, is about socializing, it's not just about sitting on the beach, it's about the economy. And without the tourism industry, the global economy will shrink by 10% of the GDP. That's why we are all here and we are supporting this webinar. We welcome the Saudi investment that is happening in Saudi Arabia, and it's one of the singular countries and governments that have wisely thought of investing billions of dollars in the next 10 years. A week ago, I was hosting the Saudi Minister of Tourism here in Nairobi. We held an African Tourism Recovery Summit discussing how do we move forward as a continent, but also how do we reopen our sector in the continent of Africa. And our Nairobi declaration was about vaccine as number one, because without vaccinating our people, we will not be safe for our people, but also for our visitors. And that's why we held that conference in partnership with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and particularly Minister Ahmed Al-Khatib. So mine is a pleasure to be here. And when I had Saudi Arabia, this is the country that is investing heavily in tourism, and we need to support them so that we can be all benefiting and changing this sector from the pandemic. Thank you very much.
Blanca, back to you. You have to unmute yourself. Sorry.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for supporting and joining. And the world now need to align together. Saudi Arabia, as Your Excellency know, during the G20, contributed a big fund to WHO to vaccinate the world. And also yesterday, assisted Malaysia for 1 million vaccination, and as well as other countries. So Saudi Arabia, with the leadership of our custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman, God bless him, and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, God bless him. They are trying through His Excellency, the Minister of Tourism, to help rebuild travel and tourism, not only in Saudi Arabia, but on a global level. And hopefully during the meeting today, with His Royal Highness speech, he will touch base on how Saudi Arabia is contributing to the tourism industry globally. Thank you again. I would like to welcome His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser, our chairman for RHH Basira Group and WTN Saudi Arabia chapter. He is just joined us. And Blanca, please, you start your official program. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, it is my distinct honor to start the meeting. We will now start the official 2030 vision for Saudi Arabia tourism meeting. It is our honor to welcome Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud. And at this time, I am going to let him address the group.
You're going to play the national anthem, I think.
I will play the national anthem at this time. One moment.
وارفع الخفاق أخضر يحمل النور المصفر رددي الله أكبر يا موطني عشت فخر المسلمين عاش الخليل بالعلم والوطن.
At this time, I will also play a beautiful video that shows some of the beautiful highlights of Saudi Arabia.
We saw it, Blanca. It worked fine if you try it again.
Okay.
Every road You've never traveled.
You're not sharing your screen. You did before, but you're not now.
Every breath you've never taken. Every story you've never heard. Every thrill you've never had. Every dish you've never tasted. Every beat you've never felt. Every welcome you've never known. Welcome to a journey you've never imagined. Welcome to Arabia, Saudi.
At this time, I ask His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud, if he would like to share a special message with us. Raid?
Can you please introduce His Royal Highness to our members, please?
Certainly, it will be my pleasure. One moment. I'm going to.
Get ready,
oh,
world,
gosh.
for a whole new way to invest. Introduce
Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud, His Royal Highness, has a PhD in tourism and is an expert nationwide in Saudi Arabia in the field of security. So at this time, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome His Royal Highness.
سمو الأمير أسعد الله مساك ونشكر حضور سموك لهذه الندوة ولو تتفضل مشكور تلقي كلمة سموك الكريم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنه من دواعي سروري أن أكون معكم جميعا اليوم. خلال الأشهر الأخيرة أصبح عالمنا منقسما بسبب جائحة كوفيد 19 وتأثرت صناعة السياحة والترابط العالمي بشدة. يلا.
It is an honor for me to be with you here this webinar, and after COVID hit the whole globe, the industry have been fragmented very strongly.
الرؤية السعودية 2030 مكرسة ليس فقط لتطوير السياحة السعودية ولكن أيضا لإعادة بناء السياحة الدولية والروابط الدولية بيننا جميعا.
Saudi Arabia Vision 2030, and especially in the tourism sector, is not only to develop Saudi Arabian tourism industry, however, it is a global vision to rebuild tourism globally.
وفي هذه المناسبة أود أن أشكر مولاي خادم الحرمين الشريفين الملك سلمان بن عبد العزيز وسمو ولي العهد الأمين الأمير محمد بن سلمان حفظهم الله على رؤية 2030 وجهودهم المتواصلة لدعم صناعة السياحة محليا وعالميا من خلال فتح مكتب إقليمي لمنظمة السياحة العالمية UNWTO.
On this occasion, I would like to thank the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the initiatives of Saudi Vision 2030 and the office that was integrated in Riyadh, the capital city of Saudi Arabia, for UNWTO.
ومكتب لمجلس السفر والسياحة WTTC ومكتب لاتحاد النقل الجوي الدولي IATA، وكذلك دعم الصندوق الدولي IMF ب$100 مليون لدعم صناعة السياحة العالمية واعتماد مشروع World Tourism Resilience Center مع وزير السياحة الجامايكي.
Also, the inauguration of opening WTTC office and the starting of opening the IATA office in Riyadh, contributing $100 million to IMF fund to rebuild the tourism industry, and working closely with His Excellency, the Minister of Jamaica, on the Global Tourism Resilience Center.
تسعى رؤية المملكة العربية السعودية 2030 إلى تطوير السياحة وإيصال رسالة بأن المملكة العربية السعودية منفتحة ومستعدة لاستقبالكم.
Our vision 2030 is a message to the whole globe that Saudi Arabia is now open to welcome tourists from the world into Saudi Arabia and to welcome you come to our kingdom.
وأنتم مدعوون شخصيا لزيارة شواطئنا الجميلة وثقافتنا الغنية ومواقعنا التاريخية المليئة بالآثار الفريدة والانضمام إلينا في رحلات غير مألوفة وتجارب فريدة من نوعها.
You are invited to visit Saudi Arabia and live its long historical cultural cities and tours, as well as the Red Sea, the virgin beaches around the kingdom.
إن أحداث مثل أحداث اليوم هي التي تجمعنا معا وتربطنا وتشجعنا على التعارف مع بعضنا البعض لبناء شركات واتصالات تجارية وفرص ريادية يمكننا أن نستثمرها مدى الحياة. إني أدعوكم لزيارة المملكة واستكشاف منتجاتنا السياحية الغنية وأيضا استكشاف فرص التعاون والاستثمار، وسأقوم شخصيا بالنظر في جميع مبادراتكم وسأدعمكم مع الفريق الاستشاري.
Events such as the event we are holding right now helps the world to come together, to work together into developing and rebuilding the travel and tourism together. We welcome your visit to the kingdom to explore and experience the destinations and the opportunities for working together in marketing, in investment, in technology, and to work those global initiatives jointly. Thank you very much.
أخيراً أود أن أشكر أعضاء مجلس WTN السعودية وعلى رأسهم معالي الدكتور طالب الرفاعي والدكتور بيتر تارلو والسيد يرجن ستيمنز والدكتور لوي تيمور والدكتور بول روجرز وكافة من شارك معنا في هذا المجلس لخدمة صناعة السياحة في المملكة، ويرجى التواصل مع شريك المستشار رائد حابس لأي مقترحات لديكم، وأتطلع اليوم إلى التعرف عليكم خلال هذا الاجتماع المبارك. Thank you very much. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا سمو الأمير. I would like also to thank the WTN chapter board advisors and His Excellency Dr. Talib Al-Rifai, Dr. Peter Taralo, Mr. Jürgen Stimmens, and Dr. Louis Demore and Dr. Paul Rogers for being on the advisory board and collaborating on various initiatives. And I'd like to thank everybody who attended today's seminar. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you so much. We're so honored to be a part of this incredible vision. Thank you so much, Your Highness. Thank you so much, Raid. It's such a pleasure to be here, and we look forward to building community with you.
We look forward.
Shall I continue the program at this time, Raid?
Yes, please, if you have any question for His Highness, or you may introduce His Excellency, Dr. Talib.
Yes. So our next royal panelist is Dr. Talib Rafai. Dr. Talib, where are you, sir?
I'm in Amman, Jordan.
So Dr. Talib, it's an honor to have you with us today. Thank you for also being with us this afternoon. And let me tell everyone, I'm gonna bring the PowerPoint to the screen if that's okay, because I think it will help everyone get to know everyone in the audience and really become more familiar with everyone a little bit more.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay, so one moment. Dr. Talib Rufai is an advisor to the RHH Basira Group. He was the Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization based in Madrid until the 30th of December 2017. He served in the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquity, where he established Jordan's first archaeological park in the ancient city of Petra. He's the chairman of the Jordan Tourism Board, the president of the Amman School for Tourism and Hospitality, the assistant director general of the International Labor Organization for 3 consecutive years. And notably, he was also the deputy secretary general of the World Tourism Organization from February 2006 to February 2009. So Dr. Rufai, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having. Thank you for having.
Yeah, just some
Great
preliminary.
pleasure.
Oh, it's our honor. Just to get some preliminary questions started. How do you see Saudi Arabia tourism with the Vision 2030 and its future?
I think Saudi Arabia is on a verge track for success without doubt. It's been like this for a while. Now with the Vision 2030, it's become a reality. I have no doubt that Saudi Arabia will be a major player in tourism very, very soon.
Now, at this point in time, Saudi Arabia has made 2 significant contributions. First, it opened the first Riyadh IATA office, the International Airport Transport Association, and contributed $100 million to the IMF. Given these contributions, how do you see the Ministry of Tourism impacting the global tourism industry?
In a tremendously impressive way. I know that. I know the minister has been going around the world now. You know, there is rumors, there is talk about moving UNWT all together to Riyadh from Madrid.
Excellent. This
is an effort that crowns the efforts of the minister in doing so. It will be the first UN organization based in the Arab world.
Excellent. Well, it's truly an honor for you to be with us today, and we'll obviously be having more conversations with Mr. Talib Rufai. Thank you for being with us. Our next speaker is
Thank you.
I want to take a moment and introduce our main host, Raed, who's been kind enough to bring His Royal Highness today, but I think we should get to know Raed a little bit more. Raed is the founder and chairman of Connect2030.net, the biggest platform for global professional consultants. He's the chairman and founder of Basira Holdings, an international event and conference producer. And he's also a partner with His Royal Highness in Basira Holdings. He has over 30 years of experience in aviation, IT, investments, and tourism project management. And he's worked with Saudi Airlines on the distribution strategy, as well as IATA agency programs. So, Raed, what's your vision for today? Where do you hope the conversation takes us today?
He's also a very fine gentleman, very fine human being.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, thank you, Your Excellency. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Actually, I have passion in aviation, travel, and tourism. I dedicated 30 years of my life since I graduated from the US into helping the industry. I worked in Saudi in the marketing distribution, tourism infrastructure, appointed almost 2,000 travel agents about 30 years ago in the kingdom with IATA, we brought the global GDS Galileo and Amadeus, and we work on distributing Saudi airline product to the whole globe by participating in industry meetings like IATA, like ASTA in the US, APTA in the UK, PATA on the Far East, and attending and exhibiting in global travel trade show like WTM, ATM, P-Tour in Spain, etc. And now I can see that the travel trade are key to success to any tourist destination because they are the mover and sellers for the tourism products. And hopefully with this global thought leaders and connected, I would like them to help and participate in accelerating our government vision for tourism by helping the trade industry, the trade channel to be trained and to develop the ecosystem and then to integrate them with global travel sellers in order for them to have a feeling and a taste and experience the undiscovered kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I have with us my assistant, Mr. Michael, and if you don't mind, he will share a 2-minute presentation.
Absolutely. Let me bring him to the stage with you, and I will share his presentation at this time. One moment. The stage is yours, Michael and Raed.
All right. Thank you so much, Raed. It's good that you limited my time to 2 minutes. So I will keep it very, very compact. First of all, I would like to give you a very, very small overview on RHH, who we are, what we're doing, where we're trying to reach at. And then we can have a look at selected tourism-related initiatives and some of the tourism and travel-related targets of the National Vision 2030. Would you give me the next slide, please? Overall, as you've heard, RHH Consultancy, which is a member of the Basira Group company, founded by our host tonight, Mr. Raed, and operating under the guidance of His Royal Highness Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser, who is also the WTN Saudi Arabia chapter chairman. And RHH is a consultancy which is around Saudi Arabia for many 10 years. And it is very strongly focused on the aviation and on the tourism sector. It has over 500 consultants at its disposal, which are linked through the Connect 2030 platform. And one of the key edges of RHH is to work with its extensive network of international market leaders, of whom you will meet quite a few in today's session. And one of the key achievements of RHH was working with the Islamic Chamber of Commerce to develop tourism projects in 57 OIC countries so far, as well as a very large amount of aviation and travel and conference related activities throughout KSA and the GCC. Plus, one of the key capabilities of RHH is to raise funds through its international network. Now, so far on RHH, let's have a look at very selected initiatives within the Vision 2030. Could you give me the next slide, please? So overall, Saudi Arabia is extremely ambitious with regards to its regional development initiatives, which will have either directly or indirectly a very high impact on tourism. It is an integral part of the Vision 2030 that Saudi Arabia is to become a global tourism hotspot. And the aim is to, aside from serving 30 million pilgrims annually, to attract 100 million tourists for leisure travel per year, which is, let's say, for a country of population of slightly under 13 million, as Saudi Arabia is, a very, very significant number. And Saudi Arabia is taking, let's say, very, very strong moves to basically support this development. And one of those is to make a gigantic amount of its heritage sites accessible to visitors. And Saudi Arabia has got plenty of heritage sites. I'm now in Saudi Arabia for 15 years, and I probably have not even seen 1% of those 11,000. Actually, if I'm honest, maybe probably 0.25% of the 11,000, probably even less. But it is an epic amount of, let's say, heritage sites of the kingdom, which can and hopefully will be made accessible to tourists. However, what is a lot more visible is, for example, the already widely known UNESCO heritage sites, like, for example, Al-Ula, the Jeddah Old Town, which is one of my favorite, let's say, destinations in the GCC to visit, Dariyah, as well as Al-Asa, and of course, the general regional developments, because Saudi Arabia is generally a region of, let's say, great beauty. It's like from the beaches to the mountains. It's like you can virtually find all climate zones in Saudi Arabia. Therefore, independent of historical sites, the region has a lot to offer. And then, of course, this is what has most likely reached the Western media the most, are those prestigious development projects, first and foremost, Neom, Amala, Red Sea, Al Sauda, which have, let's say, also a potential not only to be like regional hubs, but also, let's say, to attract tourists to the kingdom. Plus, of course, looking at Saudi Arabia's map, it has got more than 2,000 kilometers of coastline, with especially on the Red Sea, very much untapped sea life, which basically is extremely famous, not too much among the international tourists, but among the Saudi Arabia residents. And probably I'm like one of maybe 10 or 15 non-diving Saudi Arabia expatriate residents. So a lot of people really very much enjoy to see the sea life and the environment of the Saudi Red Sea. To top it all off, please, next slide. Overall, what does RHH do in a nutshell? We are a group of professional, both local and Western advisors, and we support foreign direct investments as well as Saudi companies to develop the Saudi tourism vision. We have a wide range of advisors in our team, out of which you will meet many of them in today's session. I will also, let's say, afterwards, hand over to Julia Foyle, who will also talk about one of our key projects. But let's say, of course, we are very honored to have Dr. Taleb among our advisors. Of course, Daniela Wagner as well, Edith, Jürgen Steinmetz, Peter Parlo, many others. And
so,
in our activity,
we have Mr. Samir Gummasani. Is an expert of over 30 years in inbound tour operation. As well, hopefully, we have in the panel today His Excellency Mr. Sattam Al-Bloui, the chairman of the Saudi Travel and Tour Operators Association with the Ministry of Tourism, and the chairman of the Saudi Tour Guide Association. Thank you, Michael.
Right, thank you. And overall, the fields in which we're active in, it's quite wide, quite comprehensive, ranging from tourism training, tourism channel development, destination branding, organization establishment, ranging from aviation, travel, tourism, to event organizations, and conferences and exhibitions for investment promotion. So we are trying to take care of all the aspects which are both inbound and outbound related. I will also drop you my contact details in the chat. So feel free to reach out to me. Basically, I can be your contact towards Basira, and my day-to-day activity is to take care of all the project management activities around the initiatives of the group. So please feel free to reach out. You will have my contact details there, both the phone and the email. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. That was a fantastic presentation, and it really gave us a lot of insight into the beauty and antiquities and culture and so many places to see and visit in Saudi Arabia. So that was a really wonderful presentation. Thank you, Michael and Raid, so much. Let's also introduce another one of our honorable panelists today, and that is Mr. Luis de Amore. And I'll bring up the slide about Mr. de Amore, so you can learn a little bit more about his background. And like I said, hold on one second.
That's two.
Do we have Dr. Louis with us?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dr. Louis is on the screen, and he's the founder and president of the International Institute for Peace Through Tourism. He developed the world's first code of ethics and guidelines for sustainable tourism for the Canadian tourism industry. He conducted the world's first international study on codes of conduct and best practices in sustainable tourism for the United Nations Environment Program, and he's consulted with governments at all levels in tourism research, community development, social impact assessment, the environment, urban planning. And of course, Mr. de Amore, as I said, your name's very representative of your love for peace. And I was reading one of your interviews, and I saw that you said something very beautiful, which was that every tourist is an ambassador of peace. What did you mean by that?
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. I appreciate it very much, and it's an honor to be here with all of you. Actually, IIPT was born in 1986 with a vision of travel and tourism becoming the world's first global peace industry, and the belief that every traveler is potentially an ambassador for peace. And similarly, every host is potentially an ambassador for peace. It's through these one-to-one meetings with one another through tourism that we can all begin to appreciate that we all have a great love for one another. We share very much in common. We all want to wish a better future for our children. And it's through these one-to-one contacts that we can realize this. And this is the benefit of tourism.
That's wonderful.
At IIPT's first global conference, Tourism, a Vital Force for Peace in Vancouver, we brought in 800 persons from 68 countries. The honorary chair of that conference was Her Excellency Vigdis Finnbogadóttir, the President of Iceland, and the world's first elected woman head of state. And I'm pleased to see the progress that's being made in Saudi Arabia in elevating the status of women. That conference opened with an inspiring videotape message from Pope John Paul II, followed by US President Ronald Reagan. And in addition to introducing the concept of sustainable tourism at that time, it also, in a period when mass tourism was the main form of tourism, the conference introduced a new paradigm for a higher purpose of tourism, a paradigm that includes the role of tourism in promoting international understanding, collaboration among nations, protecting the environment and preserving biodiversity, enhancing cultures, and valuing heritage, sustainable development, poverty reduction, and healing wounds of conflict. And it's my hope and it's my vision for Saudi Arabia Tourism 2030 vision that Saudi Arabia can help promote this higher purpose of tourism, particularly given its key location in the Middle East, with Europe, with Asia, with Africa. It is strategically located to be a positive force for a better world. And this is my hope and my vision for Saudi 2030.
Well, that is a magnificent vision. And how do you see?
Let's give a clapping hand for Dr. Please, for what he said about Saudi Arabia.
That was magnificent. That really was very, very inspiring. And you yourself are a true visionary of world peace. And how do you see tourism being improved by the redevelopment and restoration of the ancient cities, such as Al Daria, Lula, and the Jeddah ancient city? How do you see that playing a factor?
Well, one of our concepts of peace is peace with past generations. And it's through recognizing and giving attention to these antiquities that we achieve that. And on the other hand, one of our ideas of the definition of tourism is peace with future generations. And this is the concept of sustainable development when you get to the bare essence of it. And I'm very encouraged to see Saudi Arabia's giving serious emphasis to sustainable development and all that goes with it.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, we're truly honored to have you with us, and we look forward to continuing the conversation with you, Mr. D'Amore. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Let's bring
Thank
up
you,
our
Dr. D'Amore, for attending and the vision you share also for Saudi Arabia's sustainable tourism development through the contribution to the vaccination, as well as to developing, restoring the ancient sites like Al-Ula and other historical places, which is a very rich tourism product for cultural, tourism. So the whole globe can understand that Saudi Arabia have a long historical history and ancient side, and have a lot of culture to share with the world. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you, Louis. It's a pleasure to.
Such a pleasure. We're gonna learn a lot from Mr. D'Amore.
Do you want to add here, Dr. Talib, Your Excellency?
No, I just want to say it's a pleasure to have Louis with us. Louis is the president of IIPT, which started its work in Jordan a few years ago, in the year 2000. It's now time to work in Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Talib. Being ex-UN Secretary General, Dr. Talib, you understand all the contribution Saudi Arabia have contributed to the world tourism, to domestic tourism. And again, also there is a big initiative that was, declared by the custodian of the two holy mosques during the global climate change summit with President Biden. And Saudi Arabia will commit to 50% green energy, renewable energy, as well as the Crown Prince, God bless him. He made an initiative a couple of months ago to make the new Middle East green and planting 40 billion trees throughout the Middle East, and in Saudi about 10 billion trees. And I think that will also contribute to the global tourism and sustainability.
That's wonderful. We're
Definitely,
learning
definitely.
so many things that we did not know. This has been an incredibly enlightening meeting, and it's wonderful just to learn about everyone's backgrounds, initiatives, and the contributions and the vision of 2030 Saudi Arabia. So let's bring our next panelist to the stage, Dr. Peter Tarlow. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Tarlow. He's an international leader in the tourism community on travel, safety, and security. He's been a collaborator with numerous U.S. government agencies, a keynote speaker for governors' tourism conferences around the nation, a special envoy as named by the chancellor of the Texas A&M system, organizer of tourism security conferences around the world, and a notable author in the field of tourism security. So welcome once again, Dr. Tarlow.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. This is a
He's
real
also a good cousin. Good cousin.
Yes, I have actually had the honor this year of making some wonderful friends throughout Saudi Arabia. And 2 or 3 of Saudi Arabian students have started studying tourism security with me, and they're almost as if they were my own grandchildren. So I'm very, very proud. 10 years ago, I never would have imagined that we would have this type of conference around the world. And today, because of the wonderful efforts of people like Raid, we have been able to, in Talib, we have been able to bring people from around the world to work together, to care about each other. Tourism needs tourism security. Without it, there is no tourism. And we've learned that, unfortunately, on the level of biosecurity with what happened to world tourism because of COVID-19. And that was a part of tourism security that we had neglected. And now we're beginning to understand the importance of peace, what Louis D'Amour is doing, but we also are learning to work so hard to make sure that the world is safe, secure, and healthy. And I cannot thank the people of Saudi Arabia enough. I've had wonderful chats with Raid. He is, I think of him as a brother, not just as someone at the other side of the world. And that's really what tourism is all about. Tourism is about the bringing of people together, working together, and making the world a more secure place. I cannot congratulate the people of Saudi Arabia enough, because what they are doing is they're taking a long and honored history and turning it into a future plan to make not only their own country, but the entire world a much better place. And that is really something that hopefully the people of Saudi Arabia are proud of, and the people of the world are proud of. And I personally am looking forward to the day that I get to visit Saudi Arabia and get to experience so many of the wonderful things. Tourism is not about talking, it's about doing. And that means all of us need to get on planes whenever possible. Make sure it's safe. Let's go to different places around the world. Let's spend as much money as we can, and let's reactivate this the world's economy, so that all peoples around the world live in a much better life due to the efforts of the tourism world. I cannot again thank the people of Saudi Arabia. For me, it's like being with family.
That is so wonderful. And, you know, as we connect, as we network, as we get to know each other, we want to visit each other. I mean, what could be more wonderful than enjoying and meeting friends in a country that we've never visited? So since you are a thought leader in global safety security, how do you see the globe working together along with Saudi Arabia to rebuild tourism globally?
Well, it's going to take a long effort, and I have to congratulate the people of Saudi Arabia, because they're not only speaking, they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're helping all of us to really find hope and opportunity. Tourism is all about hope, and we can rebuild if we have a sense of hope. And what the Saudis have done is they've created the platform to allow that hope to blossom. And in blossoming, and you notice behind me, I have a scene of the official flower of the state of Texas, which is the bluebonnet. Those bluebonnets represent the whole idea that when we work together, when we care about each other, then all of us will blossom. And so thank you to the people of Saudi Arabia, not only for planting billions of trees, but making the world blossom again with hope, care, and love.
That's
Thank you,
beautiful.
Dr. Peter. Well said. Actually, I just want to make a comment here. His Royal Highness Dr. Abdulaziz, he worked almost 40 years in the Ministry of Interior, and he developed many of the security and safety division. And he was the chief commander for managing the Hajj crowd of 3 million pilgrims. And you know, from your experience, Dr. Peter, when countries arrange like for Olympics for 150 people, how much effort is being given to make it safe and secure. And our chairman, he really did a lot of excellence program, and he was like in a global case study, especially in Washington during one conference, and they awarded him in the US for putting up the biggest crowd control in the whole world.
Absolutely. As you know, Raid, I have worked on 3 Olympics. I'm working now on the Olympics for Los Angeles in 2028 and for the World Cup. And all those major events are nothing in comparison to the Hajj. And what you all have to do in ground control is beyond anything that anybody else in the world does. So all of us owe you a debt of gratitude, because all of us can learn from Saudi Arabia in crowd control and creating safe and safe pilgrimages, but more than just safe religious pilgrimages, how we can create safe events that will allow everyone to benefit. So thank you again to Saudi Arabia as being a leader.
Thank you. And
And His
actually,
Royal Highness, His Royal
Go
Highness
ahead, Dr.
played a major role.
Okay.
His Royal Highness played a major role in this.
Yes, and
That's what I want to say.
someday I hope to have the honor of getting to meet him.
That's wonderful.
You
And
will.
Dr. Tarlow, one more question. How do you see the global collaboration between the Saudi Arabia Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Tourism in Jamaica, the African Tourism Board, given Saudi Arabia's commitment to fund and support all of the extensive programs we've discussed here today?
I think the key element is that when tourism succeeds in one place, it succeeds in every place else. And the brilliant vision that's coming out of Saudi Arabia is, rather than just worrying about themselves, of course they have to worry about themselves, but they also have to be interconnected with the world. This is a very small planet. It's a big planet, but it's a very small planet. And when one part of the planet succeeds, we all succeed. And when one part of the planet suffers, we all suffer. So again, thank you, because I think what we're seeing from this is the ability of Africa, Jamaica. I work with the Caribbean Tourism Authority, and I work across the Caribbean. And so the influence now of Saudi Arabia in helping the Caribbean deal with some of its problems is again a way of making tourism better wherever we are in the world.
Well, Raid, that's incredible, Dr. Tarlow. And Raid, I want to, my hat goes off to you for creating such a beautiful event with such incredible panelists. And obviously, we're so honored to have His Royal Highness with us today. And since you are the first aviation and tourism consultant in Saudi Arabia, what is your vision and mission doing marketing and industry development programs to integrate Saudi Arabia with global industry?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say the travel, sellers or intermediaries, they are very important in the trade channel, and especially selling to a new destination, because the customers, they want to get more information, and you want to really train the trade channel to educate them about the local product, and then they will be able to sell it to their customer. So it's like G to B to B to C, and that's structure is the most effective model in the whole industry, and this is how most of the customers start to explore and visit that destination.
We have an interesting question from the audience. I'll let you answer first, Raed, and then maybe the remaining panelists want to address it. The question is, how does Saudi Arabia plan to measure sustainability in tourism?
Okay. Who has the question?
The question is from Alana Edwards.
Okay, please.
Okay, may I address it?
And thank you, Alana, for your question and participating in the conversation.
Can you read out the question, please? Because I cannot read the chat.
What I'll do is I'll put it in the chat so everyone can see it, and then I'll read it out loud. The question is, how does Saudi Arabia plan to measure sustainability in tourism? And can tourism be a source of sustainable livelihood in this country?
Of course it can. May I answer that question?
I think he will be better to answer that.
Thank you. There are many measures of sustainability now available in the world. I think Mr. Paul Rogers can address this because he's talking about planet happiness. One of the measures is to measure the community satisfaction, sustainability. Sustainability is not just about the environment. Of course, environment is very important, but social and economic sustainability are just as important. Therefore, there are many measures. I think we had a meeting with Paul Rogers, discuss the measures and the way we measure, and we can measure.
That's very kind of you. Very kind of you, Talib. Thank you very much for mentioning us and our approach at Planet Happiness.
Oh gosh.
I think it's universally recognized that tourism should be developed for the benefit of host communities to strengthen their well-being. And we're delighted to offer the industry the first approach that defines and measures well-being. And we would be delighted to support the Saudi Ministry of Tourism to measure the contribution of tourism to individual and destination well-being by engaging local communities and ensuring they're a focus of the spotlight and enjoying the benefits of tourism moving forward. Planet Happiness is also delighted to have a.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. We're gonna let's leave it.
Can I comment here, Blanca, please?
Yes.
Actually, thank you, Dr. Paul, for participating and bringing the Planet Happiness methodology and system and technology. Again, I second what Dr. Talib said. This is the only way to measure. And as part of Vision 2030, we have 13 programs. One of the most important programs is quality of life and happiness. And by understanding the local requirements, how to develop rural economies from culture, from tourism product, from handicraft, from A to Z, because tourism always employ more people and eradicate also poverty. This is what I used to do in the Islamic Chamber of Commerce tourism department. So those methodologies, they really help to measure. And I'm very glad that you presented this presentation, Dr. Paul. And this is part of the resilience center, is how to get big data and how to mine it, and then put KPIs and KBTs to develop those rural communities. Does that coincide with your planning, Dr. Paul or Dr. Talib?
Yes, it does. I think we have Mr. Deepak from Nepal who wants to say something.
All right, well then, Raed, I think at this juncture, you have some additional panelists that you wanted to invite to the stage. I know you wanted to welcome Julia Fuel. Would this be a good time to bring Julia to the stage?
Sure. But if you may give me a minute, I would like to say, as His Royal Highness said, we will take this proposal and recommendation, and we will study it with the advisory board, and we will take it to His Royal Highness Dr. Abdulaziz, so we can review how this could be piloted, for example. And,
You mean planet? You mean planet happiness?
Planet. Excuse me,
Yes.
sir.
You mean planet happiness?
Yes, sir. Planet happiness,
Okay.
because I think they have the only initiative in the globe, and Dr. Paul been working very hard on this.
So we have one of our chapter leaders for the World Travel Network. He leads the chapter in Nepal. He would like to come to the stage for a moment to ask.
Please, let's take the panelists first, and
Okay.
then we will take question and answer in the last 30 minutes of the
Okay.
webinar. So
Certainly.
I would like to introduce His Excellency, Mr. Sattam Al-Bloui, the chairman of the Saudi Travel and Tour Guide, the chairman of the Saudi Travel and Tour Operator Association. Mr. Sultan, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, Bride. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for everybody, Blanca, and all hosts. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, and I know you've been busy the whole week and even during Hajj. And,
yes.
I would like to ask you, Mr. Sattam, what is your vision and your goal to develop the local travel trade and the human resources and the tour guides?
As you know, Saudi Arabia is targeting about 100 million tourists by 2030. That gives us, a target for our association. For example, for the Tour Guides Association, we are targeting about between 13,000 to 15,000 tour guides. So we will qualify that number of tour guides to meet the expectations. Also, as you know, there are many mega projects like NEOM, Al-Ula, the Red Sea, Al-Qiddiya, and all other projects, mega projects. So we are expecting more than 500,000 jobs. So yes, that is what we are expecting. Our part is to develop the tour operators, to give them the experience needed. And I was, asking myself tonight how many years of experiences here in this room. And by networking, I think we would get the chance to work together and have you all, or some of you, to give us the needed experience for developing our tour operators and tour guides.
It's our pleasure, Mr. Sattam, and I'm sure, inshallah, in today's webinar, you will see that many of our international and local consultants are really keen to help in that trade development, industry development. We have our global local partners, and we are very much keen to working with your association to fulfill the dream to train 500 million young Saudi youth. And as we said, this is where a lot of jobs will be open. And you always, I say, tourism make less unemployment and, help new, talented, creative, energetic youth to participate in delivering the customer experience during his visit to the kingdom. And the kingdom is really looking to do world-class project in infrastructure, in tour operation, in airlines, in transportation and logistics. So as you know, the Hajj, alhamdulillah, it's been very successful because the government, really put a lot of effort. And thanks God, we just finished the Hajj about 3 days ago, and it was again, even with COVID, it was very successful. And the way they, organize it, that gives a lot of confidence for international and local domestic tourists that Saudi Arabia really managed COVID very well. It was one of the top 5 countries. Now again, Hajj started with a pilot last year, 1,000. This year, 60,000. Hopefully in the next 4 years, it will come back to where it was, 3 million. Now, today, by the way, the Ministry of Tourism announced the start of the Umrah. And they are targeting big numbers from North America, Europe, and many other parts of the world. The Umrah now is being changed from Ministry of Hajj to Ministry of Tourism. So people can come, visit, do their religious pilgrim, Umrah, and then go and enjoy the beautiful continent of Saudi Arabia.
That's amazing. And I love, Satam, your vision of developing all the tour operators. How do you plan to integrate, Satam, the tour operators with the global travel agents? How do you see those worlds coming together?
Well, actually, as you know, Saudi Arabia is new in this sector, and we didn't have the chance to serve, inbound tourism. So I think we have about 480 tour operators in Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, not all of them are up to the level, to be honest. They need the experience, they need training, how to design tours, how to ensure quality, and all these sectors or measures need to have experts from outside Saudi Arabia. As we did in the Saudi Tour Guide Association, we have an agreement with the WFTGA, the World Federation for Tour Guides Associations, and we are already working together. We have settled everything. Now we are able to train tour guides. We develop their jobs, actually. We will do the same because, to be honest, I'm newly appointed as a chairman for the Tour Operators Association. So that's what we are going to do, inshallah, in the future.
That sounds
wonderful.
wonderful.
To help Mr. Sattam, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you with us. Raid, back to you for our next guest introduction.
Whom do we have? Can we take Julia, please?
Certainly. Julia, are you with us, Miss Julia?
Oh, Mr. Samir Bumasani is here.
I see Julia is in the audience, so we'll bring her to the stage. Here she is. Let's welcome Julia Fuel. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Julia is the founder and CEO of the Online Travel Training and Saudi Online Tourism Academy. And I understand you're working on a project that you want to tell us about.
Yes, absolutely. I have some slides to share. I don't know how we're doing on time, but I'm happy just to talk freely. Raid, would you like me to share the slides or just to talk freely?
If you can quickly, please. You have like 3 minutes, Julia.
3 minutes. I got 1 minute more than Michael.
I'm
very lucky today.
We invite you to share your screen and feel free to show us. We'd love to hear what you have happening right now.
Okay, so Michael, will you be sharing the screen for the slides?
Blanca has them.
Oh,
Blanca
it's the same PowerPoint as the last one. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Let me, let's see. I think Michael left off. Hold on a minute. Let me bring that up.
I think I've got 2.5 minutes now.
I think This is the next one you'll want to show us.
Yes, there we go. So a picture tells 1,000 words, that's what they say, isn't it? So online travel training is just like the name says, a global travel training platform. We actually deliver training in 17 languages and around the world. We're the only international global travel training platform in that regard. And we usually train the travel agents and tour operators in destinations, airlines, attractions, hotels, about their products and services so that they can understand them better and that they'll be able to sell them more so. Perhaps the next slide, that's possible. So we have altogether 200,000 of them, and we have more than 300 product training courses. And on to the next slide. And these are all our clients. So that just gives you a bit of an idea of some of the people and some of the big brands that we work with. And the next one. And so during the pandemic, just to give you a little bit of context, what we have noticed is trade account management, where normally you would reach the people that sell you through exhibitions, through meeting them face to face, going to their offices. These sorts of things are now, quite difficultly sort of shut down for most, and will be for the foreseeable future. And so remote working is also going to be something that's going to be quite pretty much here to stay. So how do you reach and connect with them? Well, that's what the OTT platform is best designed to do. And right now, the trade needs more information than it ever did, which was all about how to, whether a destination's open, shut, what are the new COVID protocols, what's the entry into a country now. And also the other last part of that is that the consumers are now gravitating more to the trade, to the travel professionals in order to design the holidays, because of course they're bonded, so they're insured, they have that knowledge, and it falls to us to help to train as many people as possible so that they can bring more tourism all around the world. So that just gives you the context. And then of course we are most honored, so the next slide then please, Blanca, to be working with Raid and His Excellency Dr. Talib. And it's wonderful to be here also with His Royal Highness. So we have put together the grand vision, which we hope meets the Vision 2030 as well, of being able to create a very special academy specifically for Saudi Arabia, but this could be potentially used for other nations, to be able to train the kingdom's people in as many skills as they need and how to become tour operators, in customer service skills. It could be for hospitality, could be for any areas of customer service within tourism, training tour guides. And for that, we're working with various different partners who have already very established training programs. And we also are working with experts who can put their training information onto our platform, which is really easy and simple to do, and keep it really up to date. And of course, and then in training all those people, eventually those people also can put their own training together to the actual trade and be able to promote their tour guide, products and any tours that they have. So that's it.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like an incredible collaboration, right? What's your vision of how you'll be working with Julia? What's the thing you're most excited about?
Well, actually, I have my own online platform, but what the OTT brings, when I reviewed a lot of online training platforms, she have a very strong, robust technology, specialized in training. The second strength, she have content partners, as she stated, from IATA, from IATA OFTA, and many academies and training institute in the travel and tourism. And it's all accredited by the global accreditation system. And that she have a good technology that, can take the student through processes, mainly skills development, and maybe with a little bit foundation on the industry. But then we are designing now a program that There could be courses for 1 week, 1 month, up to 6 month diplomas, and those will be offered local market plus the global market, because I think the tourism industry is the same wherever it is. And I welcome also, like Dr. Peter, have a training content for safe tourism. And he, mashallah, is a good trainer in Texas, in many governments. Now his content and everything, he doesn't need to worry about the technology. Just, worry about the deliveries, right?
There you go.
And I will look forward to working with Julia.
Thank you. It's an honor to work with all of you as well. We're really looking forward to it. I mean, it's the first time.
All
Yeah.
right.
Solid, it'll work
Who
out.
should we? Who would you like to bring next to the stage, Raid?
Also, just before I move to the next, like sustainable tourism, green tourism. There are a lot of institutes globally, they have product, like Dr. Paul said. So we can make this online academy to be for the whole globe, to rebuild travel and tourism. I would like to bring Edith because she is a trainer and she worked to promote the cruise liner. And Edith, please, if you take the mic.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Welcome.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. I had a few slides, but I think I'll just speak to my portion, so we'll lose less time.
Before we go to your slide, maybe Blanca can introduce you so people knows what is your background.
Sure. Edith Badon is the RHH advisor for the Red Sea Tourism Projects. And I know there's a lot of exciting new developments in that area. So what's the latest, Edith?
Yes, thank you, Blanca. So what we envision is we want to take advantage of all the cruises that are going to come in the Red Sea. So cruises around the world, from the 2019 number, I didn't take 2020 for obvious reason, is 27 million people traveling on cruises around the world, and it's just increasing. Yeah. And that's an industry of about $40 to $45 billion. So just to have 5% of that, you have 1.5 million people visiting the Red Sea and the different ports of Saudi Arabia. And this is massive opportunity. We talked about creating jobs and hopefully working with Mr. Satam on the tour guides. We need to make sure we're ready to get those people in, because you want them to refer Saudi Arabia, and you also want them to come back and do land packages in Saudi Arabia, not just the port. It's a massive country. There's so much to see that you want to make sure you take advantage of that.
That's right.
So training the local people from a foreign perspective, and having international guests visiting the country is one of the things, and creating small packages, 1 or 2 days, depending on how the cruise are going to stop, how long they're going to stop. So being, what type of transport are we offering those guests, and what type of activity, visit, local produce farmed in Saudi Arabia, having local tea served the cultural way that Saudi Arabia does it, or obviously all the cultural and historical sites that they have. And then from that, we want to make sure, I think it was mentioned from different people, we want to make sure we target the international trade people. So network in mostly North America, they're big cruisers as well, and the cruise specialists in North America. So some big trade shows. We were talking about DEMA, which is the biggest diving trade show in the world.
Okay, that's wonderful. So let me ask you one quick question. What is your favorite? You're obviously super passionate about the Red Sea and your collaboration with RHH, which is the company founded by Raid. What's your favorite thing about the Red Sea? Like, if you met me for 10 seconds, how are you going to get me to go there?
Well, I don't know about you, but I want to go underwater and explore all the marvelous places that they have, the reef and some of the sunken fish or ships, obviously.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Sunken
Yeah.
ships. So we're gonna have. There's a lot of adventures to be had.
Absolutely.
Well, wonderful. Well, Edith, it's an honor to have you as the RHH advisor for the Red Sea, and we look forward to networking more and learning more about these amazing adventures. Raid, back to you.
I would like to thank Edith, and plus now we agreed that she will come to Saudi Arabia to help training the ground operators and the cruise line and the tour guides. So we hope now once she have arranged her situation, maybe in 2 months' time, Edith will be in Saudi Arabia, if not before. Thank you.
It will be an honor. Thank you.
If I may say something, Edith.
Well, at this time,
the Red Sea.
Oh yes,
I may
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Oh.
the Red Sea is one of the richest seas in the world in sea life. It's the richest because it's tightly preserved. I think also Edith should start thinking of cooperating with countries around Red Sea, like Egypt, like Jordan, for example. Because many cruises go to these countries. So we should connect with them.
I love it. I think you should do the voiceover for the commercial because you sound very, you can hear the love in your voice. It's really beautiful. Wonderful. Such an honor to have you with us on this panel. Such an honor. And appreciate all of our panelists and our whole audience here for being here and being so patient to listen to the presentations and get to know the panelists and the speakers. There will be more opportunities for networking in the future. Raid has been a guest at my networking event every Tuesday at 11. You're always invited to come there. There's many people in this audience that network with us. And as we get to know each other more, we're going to get to know the Saudi Arabia 2030 vision tourism. This is just the beginning of beautiful conversations. So Raid, I hand the mic back to you. Do you want to open the dialogue and do some Q&A?
I would like to see if Mr. Consultant Samir Kumusani is here.
I think he is. I'll bring him to the stage.
Please. Mr. Samir, as I said, bring 30 years of inbound tour operation and aviation, and he's a great friend since 30 years. They established the first inbound tour operator with His Royal Highness Prince Saud bin Abdullah Al Faisal under the company's TTV. But Samir now is considered to be a global tour guide. When you hear the names, he have assisted when they came to Saudi Arabia. Go ahead, please, Mr. Samir.
I think you're on mute, Mr. Kumusani. Just unmute your microphone.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we hear you very clearly.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you and to thank Raid. Many thanks to Raid. Raid is one of my best friends. Actually, we share a lot of passion and love to Saudi Arabia. And you guys don't blame us because our country is so beautiful. And we'd like to invite all of you to come and visit and to discover the hidden secrets of Saudi Arabia. My name is Samir Kumusani. I'm the first president for tour guides in Saudi Arabia. I was the first to receive the license as a tour guide in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I receive also, I'm certified as the best tour guide in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
That's amazing. And you've been a tour operator for 30 years in the Kingdom.
I'm a certified trainer. Yeah, actually, as a tour operator and being a tour guide, because there where I find myself when I started to take the guests visiting the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, wanted to know more of the secrets of Saudi Arabia. And I was lucky to be there into that area.
Samir.
What I like about Samir, he have the passion to teach the youth. In addition to all what he's doing, He gives some classes in King Abdulaziz College of Tourism. Go ahead,
That's wonderful. How do you see the inbound products, Samir, for the domestic and global markets? What do you see? What's your...
Well, to be honest, maybe people think that Saudi Arabia is, I just would like to clarify something. People think Saudi Arabia is a new country into the tourism businesses, but I see through the history, since the time of Prophet Abraham and his son Ismail, when the call comes from Mecca to everybody to come and visit the holy God house in Mecca al-Mukarramah, which is thousands of years. That's the time when people started to come. Of course, when they come, they wanted the tourism and travel services, such like transportation, accommodation, meals, blah, blah, blah. And since 1442 years from today, Islam spread everywhere in Africa, Asia, Europe, and therefore those thousands of people started to come to the two holy cities in Mecca al-Mukarramah and al-Madinah al-Munawwara. So I claim that we are one of the leader country in the world to receive people, you know, as tourism. Yes, it is religious tourism, but it's a tourism. And now in Saudi Arabia, with the vision of 2030, actually, I can feel like that was a dream to everybody working in the travel business, to see ourselves from the two holy cities into the whole kingdom, where we have the whole hidden secrets.
Absolutely. There's
that we wanted people to come and to enjoy.
Yes. Amazing.
There is a lot. I can promise you there is a lot for people to come and share with us. We have when I talk about the nature, yes, Saudi Arabia is a country, but it's a continent where you can see mountains, deserts, beaches, valleys, all in one country, which is Saudi Arabia. If you're talking about treasure and history, gladly that last week we've been announced the sixth city that been approved by UNESCO as one of the World Heritage Cities. So we have six cities now. We have Al Jara, we have Al Diriyah, we have Al Ula, we have Al Ahsan, and then we have also Najran. So we have a lot of coming, you know, to attract the people that Saudi Arabia is inviting. Everybody wanted to discover and to experience. With the new project, as you're full aware, that we have by the Red Sea in Riyadh, Al Qiddiya, and other mega project that took place all around the kingdom. We're expecting that 100 million, which is the vision of our crown prince, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is not going to be difficult. For your own information, and everybody's listening to me, up to 2016, we used to receive 10,600,000 only for Umrah, which is religious visit to Saudi Arabia. So we are ready right now with the infrastructure, with the project is taking place, with what we feel that the planning and the vision is going into the right direction.
I love it,
because
Samir.
we have 3 pillars.
You're getting a lot of reaction from the audience. I don't know if you're looking at this chat, but you're getting a lot of people excited to visit because you have so much passion and energy. People are saying they want to go. Everyone's going on a field trip. What a backdrop of rich culture and history. And it's really a trifecta of modern and natural recreation in sync with cutting edge civilization. Some really incredible comments from the audience. And I want to thank everybody. The comments in this chat are very inspiring and they're very positive. And this is really a wonderful meeting. Raid, what is your number one hope for this meeting today before we open it up for Q&A?
To help train 1 million people in tourism around the globe and to make 1,000 startups that make disruption, innovation to the tourism industry, to restore the integrity of the industry and to cope up with COVID or whatever through technologies.
Wonderful.
Are we done with our panel?
Yes. At this time, unless Captain Maslamani is here, I'm not seeing him in the participants.
Oh, is he in?
I don't think so. Captain Maslamani, are you with us?
Actually, he apologized because
no problem. Dr. Nadia Kurban.
Dr. Nadia?
I don't think she was a panelist. So I think we can move on to Q&A. Raid, what do you suggest? Should we take a few questions from the audience at this time and get the conversation open up? Okay.
Maybe Raid, if I can come in, because I don't know if you guys see, there has been, I got a lot of WhatsApp and raising hands. So maybe if I can just go down a short list of people and then we go and leave it open. People have been waiting quite patiently. Would that be okay?
Absolutely. Feel free, Jürgen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jürgen. And please, you can manage the Q&A if you wish.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, first of all, everyone, Your Royal Highness, for participating in your vision. Blanca, I mean, you're absolutely amazing, and we're not going to let you go easy. We're going to have to do this a lot more. And you've been a wonderful host. And of course, Raid,
I completely agree.
Day and night.
Completely agree.
And Taleb and everyone else who's been loyal to us. And I wanted to just maybe give a few of our loyal supporters and members for the World Tourism Network. After all, this is an event for the World Tourism Network with members in 128 countries right now. And may I maybe ask Dr. Walter Memzebi. Walter is on our board, and he's been here from the very beginning. He's also with the African Tourism Board, and he was the former Minister of Tourism and the Foreign Minister for Zimbabwe. And he had a few comments. Walter, if you're still here, go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Jürgen.
Okay, Walter.
I would like to acknowledge the support that has been announced by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the recovery of tourism, channeled through the International Monetary Fund. But before I even address that, I would like to also just applaud them for their geopolitical stance on bringing both the UNWTO and the WTTC to Saudi Arabia. It's a very significant move. Having said that, I'm quite complimentary about the Kingdom placing $100 million fund channeled through the IMF, who, to the best of my knowledge, in the period that I was Minister of Tourism for a decade for Zimbabwe, working with people like Taleb and others on this platform, I saw Geoff Lipman and many others. I don't seem to recall the passion of the IMF for tourism development or anything tourism. Although I do note that a parcel has been channeled through them. I don't know what is the framework of this support for tourism through the IMF, and possibly make a suggestion that perhaps going forward, even from this very eminent response to Saudi Arabia's 2030 vision, I can see a lot of eminent figures, personalities who could constitute an advisory group to the IMF so that the application of funds and where they are targeted in tourism development and recovery is done as expeditiously as possible to the maximum benefit of the sector. It's not a small parcel. It's more than the entire UNWTO annual budget. So we appreciate it's quite substantial, but we would like to see its impact felt really in the most needy areas of the sector. The IMF is not known for growth plans, it's known for austerity. So we don't want that money to end up also not making the necessary impact on the sector. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. But I must declare that we are an independent advisory group. So I would like to know what Dr. Taleb he can reply to your question.
I don't, maybe we lost Talib, but I think the suggestion from Walter is quite substantial, and it is something we should revisit and see how World Tourism Network can play a role in pushing for this. Let's go to another
question. Sure.
Let's go to the other question.
Okay.
Yes, let's go to Deepak Joshi. Deepak is our chair in Nepal. He was also the former CEO of the Nepal Tourism Board. And I don't know what time it is in Nepal, but it must be very, very late. And thanks, thank you very much for hanging in there, Deepak. You've been here since we started.
Thank you, Jürgen. It is 1:30 in the morning right now. Good morning to you all, and namaste to you all. I think one good news inspires many others in tourism. So congratulations, His Royal Highness Raid Hafiz and Saudi Arabia for sharing this very wonderful vision. I believe the decade of 2020 to 2030 will be the decade of dominated by tourism sector to uplift the socioeconomic benefits in respective countries. So in that line, I think Saudi Arabia will be the most aggressively leading country to watch in this decade. So congratulations and best wishes. And at the same time, I would like to share, like, you know, we all are looking for sustainable development in tourism. And then when the destinations are cared together and when the benefits are shared between each other, then only destinations becomes sustainable. So in this part of South Asia, I believe for Saudi Arabia, the South Asia is becoming a very robust and rapidly growing source market. I think we can work together in this line. And then in this part of the world, since you have shared in your vision also, you have 10,000 plus different heritage sites. We have very successful traditional practices in community involvement and integration in conservation of natural and cultural heritage sites. So I think we can share these best practices for the common benefit in tourism. I again like to repeat, like, you know, definitely this 2020 to 2030 will be the decade of dominated by tourism sector to uplift our socio-economic activities, and we wish Saudi Arabia to lead in this line. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Deepak. And if I could ask everyone to, going forward, if you could keep your question to 15 seconds or less, just so we can field as many questions as possible. And back to you, Jürgen, for the next question.
Yeah, let's give recognition to another very large supporter, Mona Nafa in Jordan. Mona, you also have been patiently raising your hand, and we couldn't have an event without you contributing to it. It's always wonderful to have you. Hi, Mona.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Jürgen. Hi, Dr. Talib. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Mona. Hi.
Yeah,
My good neighbor. My good neighbor
great
in
to
Amman.
see everybody. I'm an Arab American living in Jordan and very passionate about Saudi Arabia, very excited to see the progression and looking forward to visiting as Saudi is our neighbor. Real quick about the Red Sea, elevator pitch, why you have to see it is because it's got one of the best diving in the world to that of the Great Barrier Reef of Australia. So definitely worth visiting to dive or snorkel. So my question is for a very important demographic in travel, the women, the females. What is Saudi Arabia's message for women travelers coming to the region? A woman is, she's got a lot of hesitation to come to the Middle East, no matter how open, how wonderful the country may be. A woman is an important demographic to target, though she may have significant concerns to come into the Middle East. What is Saudi Arabia's value proposition to a female traveler?
Okay. well, I will try to answer as much as I know. Saudi Arabia during the G20 was ranking #1 in terms of women empowerment. And the whole global leaders congratulated our Crown Prince for achieving such quick growth in women empowerment during 5 years. And now the women in Saudi Arabia are well empowered in the past and now more. And part of the Ministry of Tourism, now we have Royal Highnesses and very professional women working in the ministry, up to a deputy minister level. So I'm sure they know how to develop products that can attract females or women from around the globe. And they do also have very professional communication consultants. So I hope I answered half of your question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raed. Thank you so much. I wish you all
Could
the
I just
best.
add a few words about that? I've gotten to work with a number of Saudi women, and I would have no hesitation about my daughter or wife traveling to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has a great tradition of caring for visitors, and be that visitor male or female. And the Saudi Arabia
It's a safe place.
The Saudi Arabia Day is a very safe, secure place. I know women who travel by plane, by car, without any problem at all. And I think that women from around the world would have a wonderful, safe time in Saudi Arabia. Again, speaking both as a father and a husband, I would have no hesitation about my daughter being in Saudi Arabia or my wife. So I don't know if that answers all your questions, but I think that it says, I've discovered this place to be
very good
loving.
answer, Dr. Peter. I
All
really
right.
like it.
That was a wonderful question, Mona and Dr. Tarlo. That was great feedback, and thank you, Jürgen. Who's our next question?
Yeah, let's try to. We're a little bit over time.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give everyone a chance. So Wagi Gamal, I think he's joining us from Egypt. Good evening, Wagi.
Good evening, Jordan. Thank you very much for the WTN to have such a lovely evening for me in Egypt. I really enjoy all of this talking. I really enjoyed the thoughts of my colleagues in Saudi Arabia. So actually, I'm not going to ask a question, but as a witness, I would like to tell you what happened for me 2 years ago. As a representative of the World Federation of the Tour Guide, I just received an invitation from Dr. Dina Daher from the Arab League of the State, as she is the director of the tourism and transportation, to hold the forum of the Arab minister in Al-Ihsa in Saudi Arabia. So first of all, I told her, be careful that I am a Christian. So going to Saudi Arabia, maybe it's get affected by some rules. So the first thing happened that when she told me, you are all welcome to Saudi Arabia, and the life is changed. So I was very happy to go there. I have been moving from one city to another because I used to fly to Dammam, and then I went to Al-Ihsa, go all around and between the few cities, taking the bridge to go to Al-Bahrain and others. So as a witness, I can see that really the kingdom is deserved to go and to see and to visit. Really, you have to see one of the oldest countries, as Samir, my colleague, said that one of the first early countries used to host travelers and tourists in the ancient time. So I think from my colleagues from Saudi Arabia, they have to do a lot of the fam trips to allow other people to see how the city, how the kingdom is changed today. And it is really, really very ready to host any event, any number of tourists to go anywhere, women, children, disabilities. It's totally, as an expert, when I went to there, I saw all of these. I took a movie and videos and photos. So really, Saudi deserved to be the future traveling plan for many people. Thank you very much for this evening, guys.
Thank you for
Thank you,
participating.
Mr. Maher. And you are an expert. You are representative of WTTA in Egypt for the region. So nobody could have said it better than you, honestly speaking. And we do need to train more graduates, especially in colleges, females. I also would like to mention Saudi Arabia now hosting the world biggest event, like Formula One in December in Jeddah, Formula E in Riyadh in February, Rally Dakar in January, Cross Kingdom race, and many other cultural, social, musical, entertainment events, like the festival and Jeddah festival as well. And this time, they say what you lost in 2 years, we'll make it in 1 year, inshallah. So we get a lot of female visitors from around the globe.
No, and I have 3 more from my and 4 more real quick. Just try to keep it for just a few seconds, and then I give it back to Blanca to wrap it up, if that's okay. But we have Sunny Arfa. Tell us where you're from and what your comment or question is. Sunny, welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sunny Arfa. I'm actually in South Florida, like Blanca, in the USA, and I'm the founder of Feel Great Meditate. I'm about to be planning some international luxury wellness retreats. I'm wondering, who do I speak to? Because I feel pretty sold on this might be a great destination, especially if it's safe for women, because most of the clients are females and they are going to need a place for yoga, meditation, and those rituals and baths in the mud and sand sound like a good seller too. So if somebody out there knows who I should talk to, let me know.
Yeah, thank you, Sunny, for attending from sunny Florida, the Sunshine State, and you shined our group this evening. Definitely, there is a luxury travel product in Saudi Arabia, and my friend Samir, he can coordinate with you, and he's the first travel guide in the country.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have Ozaik Bovo, and I probably pronounced this wrong. Tell us where you're from, Ozaik. The floor is yours. Please unmute yourself. We cannot hear you. No, you're still muted.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me now? Good.
Now we can hear you. Go ahead. Where are you from?
Okay, good evening. I'm from Nigeria. And it's been amazing and thought-provoking, actually. I have a question to ask. Thank you, Your Royal Highness. Thank you very much for the opportunity, mostly about the jobs and all that. But I have a question to ask. Back here in Nigeria, most people believe Saudi Arabia is actually more of a pilgrimage. If they're going to go for tourism, in quote, it's more for pilgrimage. What is the kingdom doing to send a narrative that anybody is welcome to experience the beauty of Saudi Arabia, not just for religious purposes? So I want to know what are the strategies in place? How do we intend sending the narrative that anybody is welcome? You can come not just for.
Thank you so much. Mr. Samir, can you answer this question? Is Samir still with us?
Let's see. I don't think so.
Okay, maybe it's already
I can give it a try.
Go ahead, Dr.
Okay. Now, Saudi Arabia is not just a luxury destination, if that's what you mean. It's a destination for everybody. Religious tourism has proved it throughout history. But now it's become a popular thing. Tourism is not anymore just an additional activity, human activity, economic activity. It's a pillar of the Saudi economy. So everybody's welcome. Anybody is welcome. And you have 5-star hotels, you have 3-star hotels, 4-star hotels. Whatever you want, you can get. So I just wanted to emphasize the fact that Vision 2030 does not exclude anybody. It's not just a luxury destination at all. Luxury is important, but it's not everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Talib. We have Morris joining us. You must be also in Nigeria. I'm not sure where Morris is, but go ahead.
My name is Maurice Kusotera. I'm the executive director of Polar Projects, which is based in the UK. We are a business consultancy unit, and we feel encouraged. I would like to thank His Royal Highness for organizing this event, and would like to congratulate Saudi Arabia. We work with. We've been working on the anti-poaching series with the African Tourism Board. Therefore, I would like to thank Dr. Talib Rifai once again for supporting African tourism and conservation. Dr. Walter Mzembi, we work together on this project, which is now showing on our YouTube channel. So we are encouraged to see Saudi Arabia taking a real leadership position in tourism, and also creating this synergy with WTF and partnerships that are being created. We in the UK, we work with the African diaspora, linking Africa and Europe. We as Polar Projects, we are very, very, very encouraged with the Saudi Arabia Vision 2030, and we are willing and happy and pleased to see Dr. Talib Rifai taking a lead in this work with the African Tourism Board, whom we work with. And therefore, we thank you. We would like to explore more areas of and more ideas of projects. And we also had, Bianca, we also had Judge Frank Caprio on our anti-poaching event in January. Wow. And we are also working with because of his Italian roots, we are now looking into working with him to have a visit back to Italy. So we are grateful for Saudi Arabia for taking this initiative. We would like to see also tourism in sports, and as what His Excellency has mentioned in the speech, and also anything that we can do together, we are available. And thank you so much, and thank you, Raid, and Bianca, and Jugen. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
we are on WTN.com Saudi chapter, and please join that chapter, and let's continue working from there.
Yeah, Thank you. Raid, I'm going to give it back to you guys. I just wanted to thank everyone from my end for participating today. This was a very enlightening, wonderful event, and Your Royal Highness, thank you for attending from the beginning to the end. That's quite an honor to have your commitment. And Raid, again, thank you. And yes, if you wanted to join us, join any of our chapters or interest groups, become a member, or if you're already a member, you can actually add interest groups to your portfolio of information. Simply go to WTN, it's not .com, it's WTN.travel, or if it's easier for you to remember, World Tourism Network.org. It's the same website, and you click on join, and you can become a member, and then actually also add yourself to like the Saudi interest group or chapter or any other group. Also, for those that haven't been able to listen in from the very beginning and wanted to see an archive, this event will be rotating for the next 48 hours on eTurbonews, on Livestream.travel, back to back, so you can see it whenever you read eTurbonews, any article, you will see this event rotating. And after this, it's going to be in archive. You can just go to WTN.travel, click on past events, and it will take you to our YouTube page, and you can see it. I would also recommend for everyone to subscribe to the eTurbonews YouTube page. We have daily updates, daily news updates, and Saudi Arabia has been on the top of our reporting for eTurbonews. So just subscribe to it. It's free. Go to our YouTube channel or click on our YouTube link. And finally, everything else will be also on Livestream.travel. So if you wanted to listen to it as a podcast, you can also find this on Livestream.travel. So again, from my end here in Honolulu, it's been an honor to be part of this initiative, and we're really looking forward working with our Saudi chapter and everyone involved in taking this to the next step. And if any of you from any country wanted to have your own event and introduce your chapter in your region, just reach out to us, click on our contact at WTN.travel, and we'll be happy to facilitate this. So I give it back to Blanca, and again, once again saying
Thank
Blanca,
you so much, Mr. Yergin, for the great effort and the hard work that you have put with us today on Saudi WTN chapter. I would like also to thank His Royal Highness, Prince Abdulaziz bin Nasser, for giving us the time to attend. And I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Talib, Dr. Louis, Dr. Peter, and Blanca, of course, our panelists who came this evening. It's really much appreciated. And we don't say this is the end, this is the start, hopefully. And definitely we will continue. Hopefully we will have maybe every 2 week seminar or workshop. So thank you everybody. شكرا طويل العمر سمو الأمير عبد العزيز بحضورك اليوم وتشريفك لهذا اللقاء في صناعة السياحة. شكرا.
شرفتنا سمو شرفنا سمو الأمير.
الشكر لكم موصول للعموم، وإن شاء الله نلتقي حلقات قادمة، مؤتمرات قادمة إن شاء الله لتحقيق ما نصبو إليه. وإن شاء الله تكون هذه بداية خير لإنشاء هذه الأكاديمية، وإن شاء الله بتضافر الجهود سوف نحقق ونصل إلى ما نصبو إليه.
إن شاء الله.
شكرا عموما.
إن شاء الله. معالي الدكتور لو سمحت.
شكرا سمو الأمير. أشكر سمو الأمير، شكرا جزيلا على حضوره معنا. السعودية مملكة الجميع، مملكتنا جميعا السعودية. حقيقة الله يخليك، الله يسلمك.
تحط ترجم لهم معالي الدكتور.
Yes, I was just thanking His Royal Highness for being with us, saying Saudi Arabia is the kingdom of all of us in this region. It's not just to the Saudis. We're also proud of what's happening in Saudi Arabia. It will be a success story without doubt. Thank you so much, Ryan.
شكرا معالي الدكتور, and thank you everybody. Blanca, the mic goes to you, please.
Just want to thank once again His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud. It's our distinct honor and pleasure to be with you today and to connect with you and to be welcomed to your beautiful, beautiful Saudi Arabia. And I want to thank Jürgen Steinmetz, the founder of the World Travel Network, for this platform. And I really want to give a huge shout out also to you, Raid Habis, because You brought us all together and you created this beautiful opportunity for all of our worlds. Wherever we are in the world, we're all people, we're all human beings, we all need each other. We're going to keep connecting, we're going to keep networking, we're going to keep building relationships. So Raed, you are a true international ambassador, and my hat goes off to you. Thank you for creating this forum today. Let's give Raed and Prince Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Blanca.
All right, well, at this time, Raed, I turn it over to you to close the meeting. Any closing comments before we say farewell?
We don't say farewell, as the Prince said, and His Excellency Dr. Talib. This is the start, and hopefully we will meet up again. Many, many thanks to everybody. شكرا لكم لكل من حضر وشارك معنا ندوة اليوم. كمان
أستاذ رائد، شكرا جزيلا. نراك على خير.
Thank you, Dr. bin Nasser Al Saud. Thank you, everyone. God bless. Stay safe and be well. Bye-bye.
Welcome.
Great job.
Bye.
Dr.
Excellent job.
Congrats to everybody. I look forward to working with all of you. Right.
So now goodbye, guys. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, good job, Blanca.
Forget my questions. Did not read my question.
Okay, so I see our Saudi Arabian friends are joining us now. So let's get started. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz. I'm the chairman of World Tourism Network, and I'm joining you from beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. It's morning time here. I know it's evening time in Saudi Arabia, and thank you for everyone being part of this group. I wanted to recognize, before we get the Saudi group in, I'm very honored to have the Honorable Najib Balala, Minister of Tourism for Kenya, joining us this morning or this evening. Welcome. Also very honored to have Dr. Talib Rifai, and you know he has been one of our, he has been our co-chair ever since we started the organization, joining us as well. And also finally recognizing Dr. Peter Talo, a co-founder of the World Tourism Network. And there's so many more, so I don't want to just start recognizing everyone. We're going to sit here, but we're going to have plenty of opportunities to talk to each other and enjoy this event. Just for those that don't know World Tourism Network, our organization was started in December, and it came out of the rebuilding travel discussion that has been ongoing, unorganized, since March of 2020 when COVID broke out. We're very pleased to say that World Tourism Network now has members in 128 countries. We just added Tajikistan to our list, and we have close to about 1,700 members, tourism professionals, both from the public and private sector. World Tourism Network is also very happy to have our Heroes program. That is our recognition and reward program. And I see a few of the heroes like Marikar, like the Honorable Minister Balala, Walter, and several others on our group here. Now, without further ado, we're going to have an exciting event, and I'm very pleased to introduce Blanca. Blanca is going to be our co-host today. She's going to take it from here. She's joining us from Florida, and we're very happy to have you on board and take over from here. Good morning, Blanca. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jürgen. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing this afternoon? It's a pleasure to see everyone this afternoon. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to celebrate the 2030 Saudi Arabia vision for the future. And we have some incredible, obviously incredible guests today, incredible panelists. But first and foremost, we're going to welcome, has our guest of honor arrived yet, Jürgen?
I am not 100% sure, but I see someone from Saudi is here. Maybe if you can identify yourself, Raid, if you manage to come in.
Just interrupt me, but it is my distinct honor and pleasure to be the host and the moderator today. I am the founder of the platform called Laws of Life, and you can learn more about me at lawsoflife.shop. I also host an international networking summit every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. And one of our special producers and co-hosts today, Mr. Raid Habis, who you'll be learning a lot about today. He really is the magic behind today's event. And I'll be introducing him formally shortly. He's one of the visionaries behind the vision of 2030 Saudi Arabia. And I think we're going to learn a lot about business opportunities in Saudi Arabia today, travel opportunities. There'll be an opportunity for Q&A. And obviously we have His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud, as our guest of honor. Right now, we're going to keep letting people into the room. We're going to get everyone settled in for the next 3 to 5 minutes. Then our agenda is going to be very exciting. We're going to listen to the Saudi Arabia anthem, the national anthem, and we're going to see some beautiful photographs of Saudi Arabia. We're also going to watch a 1-minute video about Saudi Arabia. And then, of course, you will be meeting a lot of different panelists. As we wait for everyone to get settled in, though, I want to get to know you in the audience, because anybody that knows me knows that I love interaction, and I want everyone to be a part of today's conversation. So the first thing I want to hear is, how are those fired up levels today? Are you ready for a good, exciting, interactive international meeting? You ready?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. So all right. So let's excellent.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So let's welcome some of our dignitary panelists and just say hello. We've got Dr. Peter Tarlow in the house. How are you, Dr. Tarlow?
Now I just unmuted.
Okay.
I'm great, and I'm really excited to be here today. I think we're all going to learn tremendous amounts. So thank you for recognizing me.
Absolutely. We obviously have Jürgen Steinmetz, the founder of this entire platform today. Let's give a round of applause for Jürgen. All right. We've also got Louis D'Amore with us. Is Mr. D'Amore arrived yet? Yes, he
Hello,
is.
Blanca. Great to be with you. Thank you.
And Louis's name, you know, your name means love in Italian, right?
That's it.
And you know what? Mr. D'Amore is one of our esteemed panelists, and he's the founder of the International Peace Institute. And he is really going to educate us a lot about the 2030 vision. So thank you for being with us. Buongiorno. We've got Dr. Talib Rafai with us. Would you like to say good morning, Dr. Rafai? Dr. Rafai may not be here yet. We also have Dr. Nadia Kerman. Dr. Nadia, are you here yet? We've got Julia Fuel. Julia, I think I saw you come into the meeting. Do you want to say good morning? Good afternoon?
Good evening even. I've even had my dinner. How about that? I'm already...
That's wonderful. And Julia, we're so excited to learn from you and hear all of your thoughts on the 2030. Julia is the founder and CEO of one of our sponsors, Online Travel Training and the Saudi Online Tourism Academy. We also have a guest speaker, Edith Bedoin. Edith, are you here yet? Okay, now at this time, the prince has entered the room. So royal protocol is, I'm going to introduce him immediately. His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud. Welcome, Your Highness. How are you this afternoon?
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Jürgen. Good morning, Blanca. And good afternoon to our friends, wherever you are. Good evening. I'm very happy to have all these great thought leaders joining our webinar on Saudi Arabia Vision 2030 for the tourism industry. So, as we said, we will have about 5 minutes for anybody who wants to take the mic, introduce before we officially start the inauguration of this webinar.
Absolutely. Raid,
Blanca, without interrupting you, but I think it's very important. I would really love to hear just a few words from the Honorable Najib Balala from Kenya, who's joining us. And that's a special treat. We shouldn't let him go. I know as a minister, he's very busy. So welcome, Honorable Balala.
Absolutely.
Hello, Your Excellency, Mr. Najib Birala. It's a great honor to have you join this webinar today. You are most welcome, Your Excellency, and I just informed His Royal Highness of your presence, and he will be with us in a few minutes.
Okay, I think Honorable Balala, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Jürgen and Blanca. And the representative from Saudi government. This is a great honor, and definitely Jürgen has been networking. Since the pandemic started, he has been active, making us on our toes to come with solutions and to come out from this gloomy and sad situation where the sector cannot do with, because the tourism industry is about interaction, is about socializing, it's not just about sitting on the beach, it's about the economy. And without the tourism industry, the global economy will shrink by 10% of the GDP. That's why we are all here and we are supporting this webinar. We welcome the Saudi investment that is happening in Saudi Arabia, and it's one of the singular countries and governments that have wisely thought of investing billions of dollars in the next 10 years. A week ago, I was hosting the Saudi Minister of Tourism here in Nairobi. We held an African Tourism Recovery Summit, discussing how do we move forward as a continent, but also how do we reopen our sector in the continent of Africa. And our Nairobi declaration was about vaccine as #1, because without vaccinating our people, we will not be safe for our people, but also for our visitors. And that's why we held that conference in partnership with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and particularly Minister Ahmed Al-Khatib. So mine is a pleasure to be here. And when I had Saudi Arabia, this is the country that is investing heavily in tourism, and we need to support them so that we can be all benefiting and changing this sector from the pandemic. Thank you very much.
Blanca, back to you. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Your Excellency, for supporting and joining. And the world now need to align together. Saudi Arabia, as Your Excellency know, during the G20, contributed a big fund to WHO to vaccinate the world. And also yesterday, assisted Malaysia for 1 million vaccination, and as well as other countries. So Saudi Arabia, with the leadership our custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman, God bless him, and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, God bless him. They are trying through His Excellency, the Minister of Tourism, to help rebuild travel and tourism, not only in Saudi Arabia, but on a global level. And hopefully during the meeting today, with His Royal Highness speech, he will touch base on how Saudi Arabia is contributing to the tourism industry globally. Thank you again. I would like to welcome His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser, our chairman for RHH Basira Group and WTN Saudi Arabia chapter. He is just joined us. And Blanca, please, you start your official program. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, it is my distinct honor to start the meeting. We will now start the official 2030 vision for Saudi Arabia tourism meeting. It is our honor to welcome Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud. And at this time, I am going to let him address the group.
You're going to play the national anthem, I think.
I will play the national anthem at this time. One moment.
وارفع الخفاق أخضر يحمل النور المسطر رددي الله أكبر يا موطني قد عشت فخر المسلمين عاش الكريم بالعلم والوطن.
At this time, I will also play a beautiful video that shows some of the beautiful highlights of Saudi Arabia.
We saw it, Blanca. It worked fine if you try it again.
Okay.
Every road you've never traveled.
You're not sharing your screen. You did before, but you're not now.
Every breath you've never taken. Every story you've never heard. Every thrill you've never had. Every dish you've never tasted. Every beat you've never felt. Every welcome you've never known. Welcome to a journey you've never imagined. Welcome to Arabia, Saudi.
At this time, I ask His Royal Highness, Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud, if he would like to share a special message with us. Raid?
Can you please introduce His Royal Highness to our members, please?
Certainly, it will be my pleasure. One moment. I'm going to
get ready, world, for a whole new way to invest. Introduce
Dr. Abdulaziz bin Nasser Al Saud, His Royal Highness, has a PhD in tourism and is an expert nationwide in Saudi Arabia in the field of security. So at this time, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome His Royal Highness.
سمو الأمير أسعد الله مساك ونشكر حضور سموك لهذه الندوة ولو تتفضل مشكور تلقي كلمة سموك الكريم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنه من دواعي سروري أن أكون معكم جميعا اليوم. خلال الأشهر الأخيرة أصبح عالمنا منقسما بسبب جائحة كوفيد 19 وتأثرت صناعة السياحة والترابط العالمي بشدة. يلا.
It is an honor for me to be with you here this webinar, and after COVID hit the whole globe, the industry have been fragmented very strongly.
الرؤية السعودية 2030 مكرسة ليس فقط لتطوير السياحة السعودية ولكن أيضا لإعادة بناء السياحة الدولية والروابط الدولية بيننا جميعا.
Saudi Arabia Vision 2030, and especially in the tourism sector, is not only to develop Saudi Arabian tourism industry, however, it is a global vision to rebuild tourism globally.
وفي هذه المناسبة أود أن أشكر مولاي خادم الحرمين الشريفين الملك سلمان بن عبد العزيز وسمو ولي العهد الأمين الأمير محمد بن سلمان حفظهم الله على رؤية 2030 وجهودهم المتواصلة لدعم صناعة السياحة محليا وعالميا من خلال فتح مكتب إقليمي لمنظمة السياحة العالمية UNWTO.
On this occasion, I would like to thank the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the initiatives of Saudi Vision 2030 and the office that was integrated in Riyadh, the capital city of Saudi Arabia, for UNWTO.
ومكتب لمجلس السفر والسياحة WTTC ومكتب لاتحاد النقل الجوي الدولي إياتا، وكذلك دعم الصندوق الدولي IMF ب$100 مليون لدعم صناعة السياحة العالمية واعتماد مشروع World Tourism Resilience Center مع وزير السياحة الجامايكي.
Also, the integration of opening WTTC office and the starting of opening the IATA office in Riyadh, contributing $100 million to IMF fund to rebuild the tourism industry, and working closely with His Excellency, the Minister of Jamaica, on the Global Tourism Resilience Center.
تسعى رؤية المملكة العربية السعودية 2030 إلى تطوير السياحة وإيصال رسالة بأن المملكة العربية السعودية منفتحة ومستعدة لاستقبالكم.
Our Vision 2030 is a message to the whole globe that Saudi Arabia is now open to welcome tourists from the world into Saudi Arabia and to welcome you come to our kingdom.
وأنتم مدعوون شخصيا لزيارة شواطئنا الجميلة وثقافتنا الغنية ومواقعنا التاريخية المليئة بالآثار الفريدة والانضمام إلينا في رحلات غير مألوفة وتجارب فريدة من نوعها.
You are invited to visit Saudi Arabia and live its long historical cultural cities and tours, as well as the Red Sea, the Virgin beaches around the kingdom.
إن أحداث مثل أحداث اليوم هي التي تجمعنا معا وتربطنا وتشجعنا على التعارف مع بعضنا البعض لبناء شركات واتصالات تجارية وفرص ريادية يمكننا أن نستثمرها مدى الحياة. إني أدعوكم زيارة المملكة واستكشاف منتجاتها السياحية الغنية، وأيضا استكشاف فرص التعاون والاستثمار. وسأقوم شخصيا بالنظر في جميع مبادراتكم وسأدعمكم مع الفريق الاستشاري.
Events such as the event we are holding right now helps the world to come together, to work together into developing and rebuilding the travel and tourism together. We welcome your visit to the kingdom to explore and experience the destinations and the opportunities for working together in marketing, in investment, in technology, and to work those global initiatives jointly. Thank you very much.
أخيرا أود أن أشكر أعضاء مجلس WTN السعودية وعلى رأسهم معالي الدكتور طالب الرفاعي والدكتور بيتر تارلو والسيد يرجن ستيمنز والدكتور لوي تيمور والدكتور بول روجرز وكافة من شارك معنا في هذا المجلس لخدمة صناعة السياحة في المملكة. ويرجى التواصل مع شريك المستشار رائد حابس لأي مقترحات لديكم، وأتطلع اليوم إلى التعرف عليكم خلال هذا الاجتماع المبارك. Thank you very much. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا سمو الأمير. I would like also to thank the WTN chapter board advisors and His Excellency Dr. Talib Al-Rifai, Dr. Peter Taralo, Mr. Jürgen Stimmens, and Dr. Louis Demore and Dr. Paul Rogers for being on the advisory board and collaborating on various initiatives. And I like to thank everybody who attended today's seminar. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you so much. We're so honored to be a part of this incredible vision. Thank you so much, Your Highness. Thank you so much, Raid. It's such a pleasure to be here, and we look forward to building community with you.
We look forward.
Shall I continue the program at this time, Raid?
Yes, please, if you have any question for His Highness, or you may introduce His Excellency, Dr. Talib.
Yes. So our next royal panelist is Dr. Talib Rafai. Dr. Talib, where are you, sir?
I'm in Amman, Jordan.
So Dr. Talib, it's an honor to have you with us today. Thank you for also being with us this afternoon. And let me tell everyone, I'm going to bring the PowerPoint to the screen, if that's okay, because I think it will help everyone get to know everyone in the audience and really become more familiar with everyone a little bit more.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay, so one moment. Dr. Talib Rufai is an advisor to the RHH Basira Group. He was the Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization based in Madrid until the 30th of December 2017. He served in the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquity, where he established Jordan's first archaeological park in the ancient city of Petra. He's the chairman of the Jordan Tourism Board, the president of the Amman School for Tourism and Hospitality, the assistant director general of the International Labor Organization for 3 consecutive years. And notably, he was also the deputy secretary general of the World Tourism Organization from February 2006 to February 2009. So Dr. Rafai, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having. Thank you for having.
Yeah, just some
Great pleasure.
Oh, it's our honor. Just to get some preliminary questions started. How do you see Saudi Arabia tourism with the Vision 2030 and its future?
I think Saudi Arabia is on a verge track for success, without doubt. It's been like this for a while. Now with the Vision 2030, it's become a reality. I have no doubt that Saudi Arabia will be a major player in tourism very, very soon.
Now, at this point in time, Saudi Arabia has made two significant contributions. First, it opened the first Riyadh IATA office, the International Airport Transport Association, and contributed $100 million to the IMF. Given these contributions, how do you see the Ministry of Tourism impacting the global tourism industry?
In a tremendously impressive way. I know that. I know the minister has been going around the world now. You know, there is rumors, there is talk about moving UNWT all together to Riyadh from Madrid.
Excellent.
This is an effort that crowns the efforts of the minister in doing so. It will be the first UN organization based in the Arab world.
Excellent. Well, it's truly an honor for you to be with us today, and we'll obviously be having more conversations with Mr. Talib Rafai. Thank you for being with us. Our next speaker is